The conversation that went down between Lance and Destiny is one of those moments that shows how quickly things can change in Huntsville. When Destiny sat down and decided to be open about the situation with Lance, she didn't hold back. She started by being very real and admitting what everyone else could already see. She said straight up that the boy is fine, and she is not blind. She acknowledged that she appreciated him, but at the same time, she wanted to make it clear that she never crossed any lines. She never said anything disrespectful and never did anything to go behind anyone's back. That is where the twist came in, because Destiny revealed that this man is actually her godbrother. Lance was caught off guard by that revelation. His reaction was one that showed confusion, because he was never introduced to this person as her brother. He asked how this man could be her godbrother, and Destiny explained that Huntsville is such a small place that everybody is connected in some way. She said the city is not even 1 degree of separation, it is more like half a degree. Everyone knows everyone, and relationships often overlap. That is why it seemed surprising at first, but it also made sense in the context of Huntsville. Destiny didn't stop there, though. She kept the conversation moving in an honest direction. She told Lance that Trish had already told her the man was interested in her. She wanted to be transparent and upfront about it instead of hiding it. Destiny admitted that if this man was interested, she might actually take him up on the offer. She didn't want Lance to find out later and feel blindsided, so she put it on the table right there. This created an interesting moment for Lance. He sat there, still dealing with the fact that Destiny's crush was being revealed as her godbrother, and now hearing that she might pursue something with him. Lance had to take a step back and think about what this meant. He pointed out that he had just had a baby and that the timing of this conversation made it even more intense. But at the same time, he respected that Destiny was being forthcoming. She was willing to share her truth openly instead of sneaking around. Lance responded with something that showed his maturity. He said that since Destiny was being real, he appreciated it. He said he blessed the situation, even though it wasn't the easiest thing to hear. In that moment, he chose not to cause drama or turn it into a bigger issue. He accepted the honesty and handled it in a calm way. Destiny, on her side, also recognized that she had something to apologize for. She admitted that even though she was being honest now, she had not been upfront before. She felt she owed him an apology for not saying something sooner. Lance listened and accepted her apology. He could tell it was genuine, and because of that, he was willing to let it go. He wanted to move forward rather than hold a grudge. Destiny then added that since Lance had given her his blessing, he couldn't take it back now. She made that statement with a bit of confidence, but it was also her way of making sure they were both clear on where things stood. Lance went along with it and said he still saw her as his guy, meaning their friendship remained intact. Even with everything out in the open, they kept a respectful and friendly tone. The conversation then shifted to the topic of dating. Since Destiny had brought up the fact that this man was interested in her, the question naturally followed: how was dating going for her? Destiny admitted that dating was interesting. She said she was taking her time, just like she had done before. She compared it to the way she and Lance had taken their time in the past. She reminded him that they had taken so much time that he ended up making a baby in the meantime. It was a light but pointed remark that highlighted how slow things had gone before and how quickly life can change. The way Destiny explained her perspective showed that she was not rushing into anything. She wanted to handle things carefully, and she wanted to be honest about her intentions. Even though she was open to the possibility of seeing where things might go with her godbrother, she was still clear about moving at her own pace. That level of openness and self-awareness stood out in the exchange. When you look at this whole situation, it is layered in so many ways. On the surface, it seems simple: a woman admits she finds someone attractive and wants to explore that. But when you add in the fact that the man is her godbrother, plus the involvement of her friend who just had a baby, it turns into a much deeper conversation about respect, timing, and honesty. Destiny choosing to be transparent was key. She could have easily avoided the conversation, kept things private, or even pursued it behind the scenes. Instead, she sat down and had the difficult talk. That says a lot about her willingness to face things directly, even if it meant creating an uncomfortable moment. It also shows that she valued her connection with Lance enough to want to be upfront with him. Lance's reaction is another important part of this exchange. He could have responded with anger, frustration, or even jealousy. But instead, he showed maturity and understanding. He acknowledged that the timing wasn't easy, especially since he was adjusting to life with a new baby, but he didn't lash out. He chose to accept the honesty and move forward. That is not always easy to do, but it shows growth and perspective. The mention of Huntsville being such a small town is also very important in this situation. Destiny was right when she said it is not even 1 degree of separation. In a place that's small, everybody's business is connected. Relationships, friendships, and even casual connections overlap constantly. That makes it even more important to be transparent, because secrets do not stay hidden for long. Destiny recognized that and decided to put the truth on the table before it got messy. The way they both handled the apology was another highlight. Destiny felt she owed it, and Lance was open enough to accept it. That exchange showed that even though there were awkward feelings, they were willing to handle it in a respectful and grown way. It takes a lot for two people to stay cool in a situation like this, but they both managed to keep the conversation calm and constructive. Destiny also showed confidence when she reminded Lance that he had given his blessing and couldn't take it back. It wasn't said in a harsh way, but it showed she was ready to move forward and not second-guess herself. She wanted to own her truth and not let hesitation hold her back. Lance, for his part, supported her in that. When Destiny talked about dating being interesting, it gave more insight into where her head is at. She is clearly taking things step by step, not rushing into commitments, but also not closing herself off to possibilities. She learned from past experiences that moving too slow can lead to missed chances, but she also knows that being careful matters. Her comparison to how she and Lance took too much time was her way of saying she has learned from that. The fact that she tied it back to Lance having a baby during that time added a layer of humor but also truth. Life keeps moving, whether people take their time or not. It was a reminder that opportunities don't always wait, and sometimes being too cautious can mean losing out. As this situation continues to unfold, it will be interesting to see how Destiny's decision to explore something with her godbrother plays out. On one hand, it could raise eyebrows because of how small Huntsville is and how everyone is connected. On the other hand, if it is genuine and respectful, it could turn into something real for her. What matters most is that she is being upfront about it now and not hiding it. The way Lance handled himself also sets the tone for how others might respond. If he can accept it and move forward, it may encourage others to do the same. His willingness to bless the situation instead of fighting it shows that he is focused on bigger things, like his new child and his own growth. He didn't let ego or pride get in the way. This moment between Lance and Destiny is one that fans of the show will likely talk about for a long time. It shows the realness of relationships and how honesty, even when it is uncomfortable, can create respect. It highlights the importance of communication, especially in a tight-knit community like Huntsville. At the end of the day, Destiny and Lance showed that even with surprises, even with awkward truths, and even with personal feelings involved, it is possible to handle things with grace. Their exchange was not filled with shouting, accusations, or disrespect. Instead, it was an example of how two people can have a grown conversation and still walk away with their bond intact.